Hi everyone, it's Sunday, August 6th, time for another HideNet Week in Review. I'm Vera Dordick. So because it's August, we are not publishing the European or the international report this month because of the tannery break in Italy. So we have the US and Brazilian information for you until the end of the month. So let's start in the US, where it was actually a disappointing week for sellers. After being able to firm up the steer market and push some selections higher, the upward movement actually came to a screeching halt this week. Sellers were insisting on higher levels and buyers were not having any of it, so volumes were not likely to be very good. Looking at heavy Texas steers, prices were unchanged at $27 for selections averaging 62-64 pounds. Other steers were mainly steady, although automotive selections have a little more strength right now. Cow sellers say that prices are steady, but it's still a struggle because there's just too much competition for sales globally. 1,300, which is down 18% from last week. And on the other hand, combined shipments were up by 13% for the week, totaling 574,000. Estimated slaughter for the week ending August 5th was just 613,000, and that's 1% lower than last week. From South America, editor Ronald Guiel reports that fresh hide prices dropped again by 5 cents, now selling at 90 cents in reals per kilo. The reference price of TR1 slipped just a penny this week to 65 cents per square foot in dollars. Other Latin origins were again unchanged this week overall. In other news from Brazil, preliminary data on Brazilian leather exports in July 2023 that is reported by the CICB shows that a total of US $82.2 million in hides and skins were exported, and that's equal to 30,000 tons. Compared to the same month last year, the weight was up by 35.5%, but the value dropped by 5%. Year to date, the tonnage is almost 22% higher, but the value for the period is just over 14% lower. Also in Brazil, BRF has announced a halal partnership in Saudi Arabia, and there's concern over a tax exemption for international platforms for sales like footwear, and that it risks about 30,000 jobs in the country. From elsewhere in Latin America, Argentina says Éfica is set for its November edition in Buenos Aires. In Chile, June leather manufacturing production was lower. In Guatemala, the Expo Calzado generated $60 million in business. And in Mexico, the country's cattle and beef production is forecast to rise. And finally, in Uruguay, 2 Chinese-owned refrigerators are seeing financial difficulty and have been on hiatus for 2 weeks now. So that is all we have for this week. And until next week, good night from HideNet.